Traditional Filipino Games. A presentation by Batungbacal of the class of 3J. Traditional Filipino games are games in the Philippines which use simple materials or instruments. Since we have limited resources for these games, we choose our creativeness and captains. Most of these are played outdoors. Also, some games are held during Filipino festivals and other important Filipino occasions. First off, we have Luksong Tinik. Players take turns jumping over an obstacle, which is known as a tinik, without touching it. Two players who have the roles as a taya facing each other and make the obstacle, which increase in height and difficulty in jumping over with their hands and feet. Players who touch the obstacle become the next taya. Second, we have Jack and Point. The local version of rocks, papers, and scissors. The spelling seems American in influence. The game is really Japanese in origin, with the lyrics in the Japanese version sounding very similar to the gibberish sung in the Philippines. Two players play this game. Each player makes either a rock, a piece of paper, or scissors using their hands. Rock beats scissors, paper beats rock, and scissors beat paper. Next, we have Pico. The first player tosses the marker, typically a stone, coin, or beanbag, into the first square. The marker must land completely within the designated square and without touching a line or bouncing out. The player then hops through the course, keeping the square with the marker in it. Single squares must be hopped in one foot. For the first single square, either foot will be used. Side-by-side squares are straddled, with the left foot landing in the left square, and the right foot landing in the right square. Optional squares marked safe, home, or rest are neutral squares and may be hopped in any manner without penalty. Next, we have Sipa. There are many versions of this game, but let me explain one. One version of Sipa uses a metal washer covered with cloth which gets kicked. This version is played by both boys and girls, but girls tend to use the outside of their foot to manipulate the washer, while the boys more often use the inside of the foot. Points are scored based on the number of kicks without the ball touching the ground. If the ball touches the ground, 1 point is lost. The next game we have is called Batungbacal. Two groups play this game. Each side has 5 members, 4 guards and a captain. The game is played on a court, and the objective of the game is for one group to walk or run through the court from one to the other and return without being caught by the defending group who keep guard the line of the court. Each individual player is taken out of the game when caught attempting to cross the lines of the court. The game goes on till the last player is eliminated. If any one player succeeds coming back without being caught, all players are redeemed to play again. Next we have is the Tinikling. The Tinikling is a national dance of the Philippines according to the Philippine Information Agency. The Tinikling is a dance involving 2 people beating, tapping, and sliding bamboo poles on the ground and against each other in coordination with 1 or more dancers who step over and in between the poles in the dance. The name is a reference to birds locally known as tikling, which can be any of the rail species. The term tinikling literally means tickling light. Finally, we have Tagu-Taguan. Play it at least with 3 children. Then, select an area in which to play the game. Designate a specific area with clear boundaries. Have everyone gather around a tree or landmark, which will be home base. Announce that you are at the end. Then, close your eyes and count to 10 or 20 or whatever number seems appropriate, based on the ages of the children playing. Make sure that the rest of the players hide while you are counting. When you are finished counting, go and look for the other players. Be alert because as you are searching, The others are trying to run to home base. Try to find and touch or tag the hidden players. Try at the same time to tag the running players before they get to home base. Forget about the players who get to home base without being tagged because they are safe. Remember, the first player tagged is the same person that will be the next hit the next game. Here is a video of children playing patintero in a school event. Please watch and observe. See how they try to cross the line without the guards touching them. See how they try to go from one side to another to confuse the guardians so they will be able to cross the lines without being touched. Observe behind how other children are successfully crossing the lines without the guardians touching them. Observe the one in front, tapping her feet, faking like she's going in one direction, but then stops. This to confuse the guardian, so she can cross the line. Reflection. Filipino games are very important to our culture. It shows how creative we can be, even with less or no materials at all. We should all learn how to play these games, in my opinion, because Filipinos invented these games and we should take pride in these more often. We should also recognize their importance to our country. Acknowledgements. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Bongalos for giving me the opportunity to do this project. I would also like to thank my cousin, Batungbacal, for helping me choose topics for this important project. Lastly, I would also like to thank my grandfather, Just Nervazo, for giving me a little background on this topic. Thank you for viewing my presentation, and I hope that you have learned something about the given topic.